It's documented there's a disease out there, but then nothing gets done about it. So this is a big disease in our community, and we want more than just documentation, although that's maybe a start.
We want you to let us get to testify in front of the Judiciary Committee.
We would love that.
Well,
We
we're not
really
on the
would.
Judiciary Committee, but I mean, it's always a possibility.
We believe that the extent of this problem is unknown. I'm the president of Owners Inc., and as I've talked with mothers, the devastation that persists forever is not well even understood by the public. The financial, imagine, I don't know if do you have any children?
No, not yet.
But just imagine that you get a call that your brother, your sister has just been gunned down. And these parents aren't able to work. It's just such devastation. They're up all night crying, and it just devastates financially. You've got to fund a funeral you don't necessarily have money for. I mean, this is just, it's epidemic, and it has to be addressed. And also, we want your office to know that we're going to do a lot of the heavy lifting on this. We are building a nationwide coalition, marketing, public relations. We've got some extensive experience at that level, on a national level, and we're going to put all of the resources we have to bear to build the kind of groundswell needed to ensure that this legislation, once adopted, is passed. So what we're looking for today is we're looking for a sponsor, someone to sponsor and co-sponsor. And again, this legislation will accomplish a complete and dramatic change at the most fundamental systemic level of policing in this nation, and actually end up making it even safer for law enforcement agents. So we will not stop. It's no longer an option for us to have our children's blood running through the streets of America. We're not taking that anymore.
So as the follow-up, so people that we gathered here today have signed this form. This is an action that
Okay.
the congressman can take.
Are these people in our district?
I'm in your district.
Are you really?
And I'm in your
Can
district.
we get
Yeah.
some of y'all to raise your hands? People that
Yes,
have
my brother
lost
was brutally
family
murdered,
members,
Tyrone West
lost
in
children,
Baltimore.
lost a friend. We have grieving people that have come to this office and we're pleading, we're demanding for action to be taken. And we want the congressperson to be in line with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one parent,
Yeah, I
by
can
the way, 2 children killed by
I
law
want to say
enforcement.
something. The devastating loss, as the founder has just described, is indescribable. We don't hear a lot of conversations around this theme, this lap of this journey. There is nothing left once you lose a child, especially an adult child. You've sacrificed your whole life to raise that child, and in a split second that child is taken. In my case, 2 children. There's nothing left. Everything is gone. I have 4 degrees, and I want to tell you, it doesn't matter. This is no respect of persons. This hits all of us, and it has to stop. It has to stop. If it doesn't stop, we're going to lose the next 4 or 5 generations, and we can't afford to do that on anybody's planet.
Keep in mind, these are your constituents. We are a voting block of people that are coming and asking the congressperson to be in line with us. We are your voters, we are your contributors, and we are your supporters, and we're looking for the same.
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly share this all
And,
this
and I would
information.
say, I'm not a constituent, but I live in the state of Maryland, and Donna Edwards is my congresswoman. But this issue doesn't matter which district you live in, it doesn't matter what state you live in. This is a human rights issue that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, I can do that.
And I just wanted to give a little piggyback on being voters and things of that nature. And we was encouraging people to vote in our city, because when Greg Bernstein, who was the outgoing state's attorney, thank God to my family and as well as a bunch of supporters, because he did Baltimore City an injustice. And an injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere, because at the end of the day, you know, y'all sitting there and y'all fine, but our loved ones are gone forever. And it's a devastation that changed your life forever.
And it has to change.
And it has
It
to.
must change.
Must.
We present that opportunity.
We're not going
So this is a voice of unity, you know.
Done all the heavy lifting.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we've done all the heavy lifting. This legislation has been reviewed by multiple law schools throughout the country. So it's something that has been vetted. It's been something that's been well established, well constructed. So it's an easy opportunity for any congressperson to come along and endorse it.
We have major endorsements, Blacks in Government, has endorsed this legislation. Uncle Bobby Cephas Johnson, who is head of, Oscar Grant was featured in the movie Fruitvale Station. He is the uncle of Oscar Grant. We have numerous parent organizations that focus on violence and victimization by law enforcement agents. And by the way, this legislation actually will affect law enforcement practices as extending into prisons, juvenile institutions, so it's far-reaching. And we thank you very much. We look forward to hearing from your office. We look forward to your involvement, and we really do look for action this time. Okay?
Cheryl, did you
Yes.
mention that there is an online presentation? You
Yeah.
did mention that, okay.
Yes.
I just
The power-
like-
see the PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out two more things about this scenario.
Sir.
If we go back to the Jim Crow period, in the 1890s, there was a black person lynched somewhere in the United States about every 40 hours. Now there's a black person killed somewhere in the United States by the police about once every 28 hours. So in the last 120 years, the problem has gotten worse. In Baltimore, there have been hundreds and hundreds of cases of police brutality. In the last 4 years alone, more than 100 people have received payoffs through the court system. And in return, they're told they're not allowed to speak. But that's just in 4 years, there have been over 100 cases. But in the last 30 years, up till the Freddie Gray rebellion this spring, there were only 5 cops that had charges pressed against them over those 30 years in Baltimore City. Only 5 on-duty police officers for brutality. 1 went to court and was convicted, but it was overturned. So the number of cops that spent time in jail for this is zero.
Zero.
And they get to spend the holidays with their family.
And if we as a citizen, if I could spit on somebody right now, I'm charged as a felony, but if an officer spits on someone, it's charged as a misdemeanor. Why? What is this spit different from mine and yours? It's ridiculous.
We need change. We need change, and we will be contacting your office. Thank you so much for receiving us so well unexpectedly. But consider us a partner because we're going to work until we get this done. Okay? Thank you for your time.
So that's for internal use only, right?
Yep.
Not for the website?
Nope.
Just want to make sure.
Nope.
I don't speak on